Welcome to the Human Capital Innovations Podcast, your go-to source for personal, professional, and organizational growth and development. We hope you tune in often for all things people management, organizational development and change, organizational leadership, and social impact related. Maximize your personal and organizational potential with Human Capital Innovations Podcast. Welcome to the Human Capital Innovations Podcast. In this Forbes feature HCI podcast episode, I explore the recent Forbes video, 3 Steps to Cultivating an Innovative Mindset. Welcome back to the Human Capital Innovations Podcast. It's great to be with you again today for this Forbes feature HCI podcast episode. Today I'll be exploring the recent Forbes video, 3 Steps to Cultivating an Innovative Mindset. Accenture North America CEO Julie Sweet talks about how to think like an innovator in this very short, about 30-second Forbes video. Thanks for joining me, and I'll just break this up into a few small chunks. I'll catch you on the flip side of the first clip.
Innovation is a mindset, and so you really need leaders who have the mindset around innovation, and that means 3 things.
I like how she starts off by just framing this as a mindset. Innovation is a mindset. Now, a lot of times we put together the ideas of creativity and innovation. And a lot of people think that people are creative or they're not creative. We often think about creative individuals like artists, musicians, people who can create and come up with brand new ideas. And that tends to bleed over into what we consider as innovation as well. And when we think of innovation, we think of people who can invent things, and we think of people who come up with new apps or brand new projects and products and all sorts of really creative things, right? And most people, if you ask the random person walking down the street, most people say, oh, I'm not very creative, I'm not very innovative. The point is, it is a learned thing. We can all be creative. We can all be innovators. And you think back to our childhood. You think to when you were young and used your imagination. And over time, it's actually one of the critiques of the education system in the US is that over time we kind of beat that creativity and that inclination towards innovation out of people as we socialize them and we try to get them to conform with societal norms and processes and just the expectations of society as a whole. So let's get back to basics. Let's get back to fostering creativity and innovation within our organizations and our teams. And that starts again with the mindset, that we can actually foster a mindset. Just like we can have a growth mindset, we can have an abundance mindset, we can foster an innovation mindset to allow us to bring forth really great opportunities for our organizations.
They have to be continuous learners.
I don't think I've ever had a shorter clip in one of these episodes where I look at different videos. But this one, to be continuous learners. That's it. That's all she said. And you know what? It's super important. If we want to have an innovation mindset, we need to foster a growth mindset. And we have to be continuous learners. We have to recognize that we don't know everything. We have to have intellectual humility. And we have to be willing to continually and consistently ask questions to challenge the status quo, to challenge our assumptions, and to really try to get outside the box and think in new ways, to connect things that haven't been connected before. So much of the innovation that occurs in the world isn't completely paradigm-shifting, brand new things that nobody's ever considered. It's just pulling together and synthesizing existing products, services, elements that are already out there and spinning them up in new ways. So first, just be continually learning. That requires asking thoughtful, meaningful questions, self-reflection, analysis, and just trying to get past the societal norms and expectations, assumptions, and tradition, and really think, is this necessary? Do we need to do things this way? How could things be better? How could things be different? And how can I learn to move things in a more positive direction? I'm excited to announce the publication of my new book from HCI Press, The Alchemy of Truly Remarkable Leadership: Ordinary, Everyday Actions that Produce Extraordinary Results. Consider how the nature of work has shifted over the past 50 years. With increased globalization, rapid technological advancement, and the shift in economic composition, the average job of today looks very different than the average job of 50 years ago. What will the jobs and organizations of tomorrow look like? Moreover, what does this all mean for organizational leaders? What are the core competencies and capabilities of organizations and their leadership that are prepared for continued disruption and geopolitical and socioeconomic shifts? Regardless of what the future holds, increasingly, leaders need to be socially minded, data-driven, decisive, champions of talent, and disruptors of the traditional notions of leadership, teams, organizations, and work. The Alchemy of Truly Remarkable Leadership will help you to explore your own leadership competencies and capabilities and consider ways to apply and implement them into your workplace and personal life.
They have to be willing to challenge themselves, to basically acknowledge that what got the company or even themselves to that position is not what's going to take them to the next level.
Being willing to challenge ourselves really does go along with continuously learning. We need to have intellectual humility and recognize that what got us to where we're at isn't necessarily going to get us to where we want to go. And that could be just because we're in a new context and there's new dynamics surrounding us. Simply the fact that we learn and grow and change as individuals as we go through life stages and as we move throughout our career. And so we have to be willing to challenge ourselves and to move in new directions.
And third, and probably most important, they have to be able to make a decision without all the answers, really being able to face ambiguity and uncertainty and chart a path.
Being able to lean into uncertainty, to ambiguity, and to not get stuck in a situation of decision paralysis where we can't move forward. That's essential to the innovation mindset. Ultimately, if we have a continuous learning mindset, if we have a mindset of wanting to challenge ourselves to continually grow, then the next step at that point, we have to pull the trigger and we have to make decisions. It's actually quite fun if you're willing to lean into the ambiguity and the complexity and recognize there's not a clear-cut answer to everything, to just build the plane while you're flying it, right? Start moving forward. Take one step into the darkness and iterate. See what's working, see what's not working, make changes on the fly, and don't get stuck in the trap of constantly seeking more and more data before ever making a decision. Now, of course, we want to make informed decisions. We want to make data-informed decisions to the extent possible. Use metrics, use the information available to you. But after doing your homework, just move forward and iterate. Iterate quickly. Lean forward into the messiness, fail fast, fall forward, etc. And as we do that, we will learn and grow, and it reinforces the first two steps of fostering an innovative mindset. Ultimately, I just want to reiterate that innovation is a mindset. It can be learned, it can be fostered and developed. We can all be more innovative. We can model that for our teams. We can help our people become more innovative as we ask thoughtful questions, as we encourage and push them towards these steps to foster that mindset, and we can unlock the creativity and innovation within everyone on our team. Ultimately, that's going to bring about wonderful outcomes for individuals, their careers, but also for our teams, for our organizations, and for society as a whole. Thanks for joining me for this episode of the Human Capital Innovations Podcast. As always, I hope you stay healthy and safe, that you find meaning and purpose at work each and every day, and I hope you have a great week. We are excited about the launch of HCI's new magazine, Human Capital Leadership. Human Capital Leadership is a free, interactive e-magazine designed to help individuals, leaders, and organizations find innovative approaches to maximize their human capital potential. We will be publishing issues quarterly in August, November, February, and May. Check out the first issue and let us know what you think. Thanks again for joining us for this episode of the Human Capital Innovations Podcast. I hope you stay healthy and safe and that you have a great week. Check out our new weekly LinkedIn newsletter, Alchemizing Human Capital, exploring industry trends via original research and interviews with executives and thought leaders from across the globe. We look forward to having you join us.